am currently sitting in my closet because many reasons. I just put these LED lights up. I like them. They look really cool. And let's just talk. So let's talk obstacles. Let's talk overcoming obstacles. Let's talk meditation. Let's talk vibration. Let's talk about it. So I have in the past faced many obstacles, many situations where I had felt like I was being like tested, or felt like there were moments where I felt like I was being fucked with, like the universe hates me or God is fucking with me. And if you're not a believer of God, which I also wasn't for a long time, but it was just kind of like a cynical joke that I had with myself that the universe or God was fucking with me, but in times of like complete nothingness, it just felt like exactly that. Well, this is life, basically. This is just what it is. This is just what happens. It just sucks. When we face obstacles, frustrations, difficult situations. Well, at least I'm talking about like everyday kind of frustrations. There are bigger frustrations that what I'm going to talk about can be extremely helpful towards understanding and will be. But I also want to talk about the little moments, because that's kind of what builds your ability to actually handle the bigger moments. So there are times where I face like a lot of obstacles within the day, and they're very small, minor shit. Like, for example, I got these LED lights. It came with a lot more than I was expecting, which I was like pretty excited about. I didn't have a good estimate of how long it would actually be and how much it would actually cover. And it came with 2 separate rolls, and they're both super long, and I'm just pretty excited about it. And because I'm so excited about it, I put these ones up and I go to open the package and I just literally like rip the LEDs apart because they're fucking cheap. So cool. And I think in the past, this is something that would have just fucking had me. Like, this just would have ruined my fucking day. And because it would start with something like that, and then it would build up. And I'll get into that a little bit, because this is not the only obstacle I faced in my day. In fact, I face like 1,000,001 obstacles every single day, and I'm sure a lot of us do. Especially people who are neurodivergent, artists, creatives, empaths. Like, I get it. There's a lot of interesting things that happen throughout the day, whether it be something that was in my control, like ripping them apart, could have been more patient, or things that are outside of my control. I think in the past, again, this is something that would have hindered me so much, and I would have let it affect my mindset for the rest of the day. But I've been working so actively on shifting my perspective, almost as like an experiment at this point, to see what the consistency can do for myself. And you know what? I just didn't react that frustrated, angry way. I was kind of like, oh, wow, I just broke that. And there was that feeling that I'm used to reacting to very quickly. The exact feeling of like, fuck, I just did this. Why did I do this? It's ruined now. There's no going back. There's no going back from this. This is what it is now. And this can be 2 things easily, even though it's all just truly one thing, a cause and an effect, right? One conundrum. The present moment, the situation you are currently in. There's a million ways to look at it, but let's look at the major scales. There's the, I can never get this back. This is over. This is ruined. Or, I can never get this back now. Now what? Yes, and what's next? Right? Instead of looking to grab what is already gone and grasp, oh no, all these feelings of like, oh, it's gone, right? Shifting from that into, okay, and what's next, right? There's only so much we can control. And this is a practice. Understanding this, incorporating this mindset, even if you already know it, is a practice. Okay, so we cannot control the external factors. So that was my mentality, is okay, I just fucking broke this. Yes, and can I fix it? That was my first question. Like, I bought these, I spent the money on it, can I fix it? What am I gonna do about it? What are we gonna do? So I decided to try and fix it by connecting the little copper wires, and did some research, and it took me about an hour to come to the conclusion that no, I cannot fix it. And then I decided, okay, so maybe I can get a refund or return it or get a new one sent. So I look into that, and I would have to send this back, and I already put it up. So, no, I'm not gonna, fuck it, basically, was my conclusion. Fuck it. It is what it is. It already happened. There is kind of nothing I can do about it. The best I can do, really, is set this up the way I like it. Be grateful to have lights in this closet that I enjoy. You know? Didn't really need the excess of lights anyway, although it is a misfortune that I got those lights and my money is gone. I'm happy, you know? And I think that anyone can get to that point of just acceptance and being cool with the little mishaps, because I dealt with quite a few mishaps today. And as much as I would love to share about my whole day and all the little mishaps that happened, I just noticed that I'm just not reacting the way I used to, which is just like sticking in the past, grieving over what is already done and gone and goodbye, into this very much present, okay, where can we go next? And of course, a part of that, it's not about avoiding feelings. It's really not, because I feel what I'm feeling, and I've learned to do this thing, and I really encourage anyone who's watching this to go ahead and try it out, and it's really fun, and it's really cool, where these feelings come up. It doesn't matter what the feelings are. Don't worry about labeling them. Don't worry about, is this a good or bad feeling? Unless, you know, you have issues with identifying certain feelings, then you can go ahead and try that. But when it comes up, I think it's a good practice to just feel it out. Where in your body is it? You know, just notice it. Don't judge it. Don't label it. Don't react. Learn not to react. Just feel it. And then say, and this is the interesting part, this is the part that does so many wonders in the long run. The more you do it, the more you practice it. Where you just say, oh, well, thank you for showing me this. You're kind of saying it to yourself. You're saying it to your subconscious, your shadow self, your whatever you want to call it, okay? You're saying it to you. You're saying, thank you so much for showing me this feeling. This is something that I maybe wasn't aware of, or you've shown me, you know, a deeper side of this. So I think that those moments are really powerful and really interesting to have, because it's this deep gratitude and appreciation and acceptance for something that maybe in the past has been like, oh, I don't want to feel this, go away, push it to the side. It's really important. This is what's gonna ground you. This is what's gonna have you feeling safe and secure, you know, and that safety and security is what's gonna breed the self-love and the confidence. But it's really gotta start from that place. Like, you're not going to just be confident because you want to be confident. You know, you have to work to be confident. Of course, your desire to do so is beautiful and wonderful, and that it should be encouraged and driven forward. And I do encourage it. But of course, we have to make our way there. You know, it's a journey, and that's kind of where I'm coming into the picture, is because I just want to give an opportunity to teach us about our journey, about our path there. So, and appreciating the path there, and appreciating these little moments of understanding, right? This is just an offering of a perspective that you can take that may be really helpful, a practice that you can actually implement that may be really helpful, because we hear, or for myself, in my perspective, I hear all of these like spiritual concepts and really amazing perspectives and really incredible knowledge and information and downloads, but I don't always get the like practical things that we can do in the moment to actually shift us into that mentality to further and deeply understand the information that we're being given. So that's what I'm doing. Here's that. Another thing, as just a little thought experiment and something we can do with ourselves, is to just take a moment to close your eyes, be in the moment, just breathe. Classic meditation, right? And meditation takes practice, so please understand that when you first start meditating and taking this moment to tap into presence, to tap into the moment, to tap in with breath, to tap in with spirit, when you first start this, you may not tap in right away. Some people are going to be really good at it. Some people are going to have a really hard time with it because they're going to hear their own thoughts. It's going to be harder to feel their body and focus on breath and just be quiet and be still. But as you start to do it more and more, it's a kind of allowing. So you allow your thoughts to run and you allow them to chatter. And the practice is to pull yourself every time you catch yourself doing it to just notice. And this is what I was just talking about. Okay, and what's next? Right? So instead of latching on to what has already happened and what is now out of our control because it exists in this effect plane, we can look into the cause and work our way from that. Because there's no change in the plane of effects. All change exists in the realm of cause. So if you're overthinking, okay, you catch your thoughts, I'm doing it again, okay, let's focus back on breath. You breathe a couple times, I'm thinking again, okay, focus back on breath. And this is why it's a practice. So take your time with it. If it needs 5 minutes a day, if you need 1 minute, if you like to go to 10, 20, and then jump up to as long as you want, an hour, 2 hours, back to a minute. Just whatever feels good, whatever feels right, let that be your guide in a meditative state. So as you're here right now, just breathing, tuning in, eyes closed, just imagine now your happiest moment. Let whatever pop into your head. Don't judge it. Maybe you just thought of the most frightening thing you could ever imagine because your brain is a funny little thing. But just let it. Bring yourself back to focus. Bring back to center. And just imagine your happiest moment. Maybe for some of you that's hard to imagine. You don't know what that would feel like. But just go ahead and try. This is just an experiment. And for those of you who might be already there, right there in your happiest moment, just feeling amazing, just keep feeling great. Just feel all the feelings, look at what's around you. Where are you? What's going on? What is your happiest moment? Take notice of that. Maybe it's multiple things. Maybe it's a concept, maybe a song. Just let it all be. There's no judgment. Feel it out. Feel all the good feelings. Maybe butterflies in your stomach. Maybe a tingling in your chest. Maybe your heart is beating faster. Maybe you're breathing just a bit slower. Notice the shifts in your body. Notice where your mind is taking you. And if you can feel this happiest moment and you can feel all of these great emotions, just say yes. Yes, more of this. Because this is where we learn to stop chasing and start pulling, start attracting, start being, really to start embodying exactly what it is that we're looking for. And when you're imagining your happiest moment, you can go deeper actually and decide to find what is lying underneath that. What do you value? So that's really what that kind of thought process can it can teach us so many things. Just to go into that, one, it can teach us that we're able to, as conscious beings, tap in to any feeling, any vibration that we want at any time that we want. So that's really something cool. Like, you can imagine what makes you happy and feel happy feelings. And in that same way, you can imagine things that make you scared and feel fear. You know, this is where a lot of our anxiety comes from. I'm someone who struggles with social anxiety, and that's something I noticed in myself, is that when I would be in public places, my mind subconsciously would go into these fears that I had created for myself. And it's important to do this process and actually feel those fears as well and notice them again. Where is it in your body? What's happening? Just let it be. It's a funny thing. You'll see what I mean if you're interested, if you're curious and you decide to practice. You'll definitely see a difference, but I promise you it must be consistent. So if you're going to practice it, please do it every day, every single day, because this also, teaches us how to feel our feelings, how to be mindful, and it teaches us the underlying essence. Let's call it that. It teaches us and shows us, reveals to us the underlying essence behind what we may think we value. So if you're thinking, well, I value money, you picture, being wealthy, right? Is it truly the paper money or the credit card or the numbers in your bank that you value? Or is it a feeling of security and safety that you value, right? So that's the underlying essence of it. Especially if these things are material things, or if they're things like somebody, a person, family, things of that nature. There is an underlying essence, an energy that is basically personifying or creating that frequency. It's how that frequency is embodying itself. You're imagining what that frequency has manifested as. Now, what underlies it? What is the energy behind it that is driving it? That is how we learn to attract. When you can feel that energy within yourself and use mindful practices like this to actually invoke those feelings, and the more you feel it, try it out. Don't just take my word for it, or don't just don't be overly skeptical either. You don't know until you try. Don't knock it till you try it. So try it out for 21 days. Just give it 21 days, at least just about a month, every single day. And I promise you will notice that you notice those feelings more often. And then because you notice those feelings more often, you start to experience those situations more often. And I could totally get into why that is on a more scientific level, left-brained level, rather than a more mystic, spiritual level. But that's where I'm at today, and that's what I'm feeling today, and that's what I'm embodying in this moment, and I fully embrace it. And I haven't really made a video yet, so this is my video. And I just really hope it resonated with some people, and I really hope you like it. So yeah, that's what it is. I will come back at some point, and I will explain on a more scientific, left-brained level. I can go into why exactly the law of attraction and manifestation makes sense to someone who is more skeptical about mysticism and spirituality to someone who needs the facts. I get that. I'm kind of like that too, okay? So I will come back with that. We'll discuss that further. Right now, let's do the practice. If you're interested, if you're curious, please, please, please try to do that mindfulness practice. Just go ahead and give it a shot for a couple days, see how you feel. You know, it does not hurt to try. It doesn't. So, thank you for watching this, and be blessed.